Well, in a layman's language, the responsibility of a council is to be a transmitting belt between the community and that of government. So it indirectly becomes my responsibility to make sure that we liaise with the relevant stakeholders, in this case, the Ministry of Education, to make sure that, issues such as student accommodation has been taken care of. But also just to make sure that whatever it is that the community is faced with is escalated or, tabled at the correct table. And it goes back again to decentralization. When it comes to decentralizing functions from certain ministries to maybe regional councils. It comes into that line, Toivo. It remains our responsibility as councillor. And I think maybe this would also be the good platform to discuss issues pertaining to municipal issues, because there's been quite a back and forth situation. Yes, in terms of, when it comes to municipal issues, it could be our responsibility as regional councillors. Indirectly, it is, because I am the one who's responsible to make sure that the concerns of my community has been, cascaded or given to the municipality to make sure that these things are indeed implemented. But at the end of the day, it's a perception that public has, and I'm really hoping that maybe we can do better in future in terms of educating our people in terms of what our mandates are from regional council and local authority, being City of Windhoek. So in a nutshell, it is our responsibility at the end of the day, but provided that we get this information from our people, and we can get it in two ways. One, I think as leaders, we really undermine, public engagement or just direct engagement with your community members. I always said, for me, it just doesn't make any sense that you provide something to someone simply because of, a perception of your eye. For me, it just doesn't make any sense. Speak to the person and understand what exactly they need and give the horse that which the horse needs. It just doesn't make any sense. And the second one is for the public to actually make the constituency offices a place of, they shouldn't be strangers. They should be their second home. They should be comfortable, and it's my responsibility as a councillor to say, the doors are open, please come through. What are your issues? Let me hear you, let me listen, and let me see where I'm able to assist you. And for us to also stop making empty promises, Toivo. In 2020, there was a journalist who said, look, we're reading through your campaign, and we're not seeing promises here. You keep repeating the word commitment. And I said, yes, because I'm committing to trying my level best and seeing how best we're able to assist the community.
You see, the urban constituencies are very difficult places, especially for incumbents like yourself.
Yes.
Even for aspiring candidates, because a guy in Okalongo, where I come from, the councillor there is the go-to person for the community. It's a conveyor belt proper, in the proper sense of the word. Whereas in your constituency, if there are potholes that the City of Windhoek somewhat did not yet attend to, there is that blurry line. Which could compromise you, actually, especially in a period like this. What is Emma talking about? There are potholes in the constituency when the City of Windhoek actually didn't attend to that. In situations, and I know you spoke about that just like that, but I thought you could just tell me again that where does that leave you? The matter is there, is glaring, and you are committed and you're communicating, but somehow the third party that is actually the authority on that subject is not here. It's not coming to the party.
There's so much power in the community, Toivo. The first step is obviously to speak to our counterparts who are from local authority and say, colleagues, people are not happy with potholes. And it's funny that you're speaking about potholes, because that has been the question for the past month. You want us to vote for you, but look at those potholes. How long did it take for these potholes to be fixed? And when they are fixed, they're still not happy with the quality of, the potholes. So for me personally, I've always said, we will give City of Windhoek, for example, 2 opportunities. We write you one letter, we write you the second letter. The third one is going to come from the community. We will call for a community engagement where the community is would be allowed to, express or air their views. But in that, Toivo, I've realized that in the past 5 or 4.5 years that I've been in office, people tend to also just become tired because they're complaining about the same thing over and over, year in, year out, and it's just not happening. So it's a catch-22 situation. It does leave me personally as incumbent in the red zone because people are really, upset, and majority of the issues within our constituency are really related to, municipal services. So we try our level best. We see what we can do. But I'm really happy to say, some areas are, things are quite attended in a short time of space. For example, street lights, the issue of water or the issue of electricity. Municipality really does come through. But majority of the people are really upset and they think it's the councillor's, issue. And it's funny that we're talking about this. Just this morning I had a meeting with a resident who was really upset with, the recruitment of the NDF that's currently ongoing, and saying, look, we've been applying for the past 2 years and we're not getting through, and you're not responding to us or giving us feedback in terms of why were we not successful, not knowing that the constituency office has got absolutely nothing to do with that. It's the Ministry of Defense. We just received the application forms and, stamped to verify that indeed this person does reside within the Windhoek West constituency.
As you put it rightly, to say I condemn it, but I think I need to clarify it once and for all. When I condemn the directive, I didn't condemn that the minister's directive is not going to be taken or so. I condemn the actions. So the directive is for the council either to renew or not to renew. It's not the issue of the minister. I condemn the action of the minister to say that he is a member of parliament. For the Red Force to come on board, came on board through the Procurement Act. A Procurement Act was passed in and gazetted in parliament. If the minister of urban and rural development have an issue with such act, he should have to start in parliament to say, comrades, let us start, and this law is not springing on the ground, is whatever he sees in that it need to be amended. So because he cannot be a law maker in parliament and immediately run outside and say, don't follow the law that we have passed in parliament. So you can't do such a thing. So in other words, if people are demonstrating, for example, in Okahanja, Toivo, and they are starting from the location, I'm also part of them, down council. When we reach at the municipality, I get out of them and in front and receive the petition. I can't do such a thing. So the minister directive, whether it's correct or not, the act, the action is what I condemn, to say he cannot do such a thing because he is a law maker in parliament, he's a member of parliament. He could just tackle this in parliament easily and amend the Procurement Act, and we move from there. The only person that could do such a thing perhaps could be the Ministry of Finance. So the Minister of Finance, but could also clarify to say, from here, what can we do? So if you look at that direct per se, there was nothing that the minister says, if we renew, what can he do? Because it's not mandated to do that. So that was my condemnations, to say he was not the right person to do so.
How is the debt situation in Okahanja, to the extent that the municipality need third parties to collect your debts? You don't have a division that is capacitated enough to collect your own money? What's happening?
No, we definitely have perhaps our people that are dedicated on that finance department to do so. But one thing I want to clarify is here that if you come to any municipalities, as we speak right now, we have 40 municipalities that are being assisted by Red Force out of 57 in the whole country. If you come to our office, you'll be able to pick up that we have a heap of agreements that the council have made with the resident. So come and make an arrangement with us. We make an arrangement, and the same resident ending up default the arrangement they have made. They are not paying. Now, when we have a system of our people to go there, sometimes they get a lot of threats. I will do what, just want to shoot you, and those kind of things. So then the law make a provision, as I said, by the Procurement Act, that you can get somebody who is, if Red Force came there, they have their own lawyers to deal with those clients. It's not really that is what we wanted, but every municipality, wherever you go, is a push factor. The same people, they want development to come to them. But yet, we have, for example, in Okahanja, we have 112 million that were being owed by the resident. It's not only residents alone. We're also talking about government institutions. So you can really tell that in 2021, City of Windhoek end up closing. Some people, they even end up saying no, why they were in the office, the electricity went, and they have their car's key were in the office and those kind of things. So we are trying to engage our community to say, please, if you make an arrangement, pay it. And we also picked up that when you came in, that you find someone having, how the debt accumulated from 200 to 17,000. We also have to caution our employees to say, you can't allow things to do this. If we have our policy to say a limit is 500, then you have to do your job, because if I took a bed today at Lewis and I didn't pay on the 25 as I promised, I'll keep on receiving a lot of calls from Lewis when I'm coming to pay, and they're also recording it. So that's how the debt is accumulated, and we are really not to say we want to take our people there, but it's a situation that you can, I think you can talk at a different platform.
Okay, now wonderful. Tell us about the terrible situation that happened in Okahanja earlier this year. I think it was April or so, March, when you had this series of killings of girls and school kids. What is the latest? What are you hearing as a leadership of the town? And what measures have been taken, if any, to sort of shield your residents against those kind of attacks?
People, when we speak about that incident, really, I think we were very fortunate councillors to go through that. It was not an easy thing for us.
Fortunate or unfortunate?
Unfortunate. We are still healing from that barbaric event, and we were not sleeping. Because even ourselves, we were also afraid. We don't know what's happening. And as a leadership, we have to sit always and try to see how can we assist. Remember, the kids were being killed in our town, but the council, basically we are not mandated to provide safety. Safety have to be provided by the Namibian police. So we only create a conducive environment where we need to give land to the Namibian police or Ministry of Works and whatsoever to build police stations across the towns. So as far as we speak, the council went far as to install cameras. As we speak, we have cameras around the towns. When we are coming from Karibib, there is cameras. When we are coming from Chivarongo, there is cameras around the towns in the locations, and also in Osona. That is one of the actions that we have taken up as a council in collaboration with our stakeholders, such as business communities, and as you also are aware that there was money that were put in place that whoever have information must come on board to engage the Namibian police. That offer is still valid, is still standing, and the information that we are getting from Namibian police is that they are still investigating. So they have interested people that swap were taken and they were sent to South Africa. I believe they are still waiting for the result. I don't want to speak on their behalf, but those are the latest information on the last information that we got. Yeah, but we are also happy to say, at least we believe the situation come to normal. There were a lot of fears among the communities, and at least now the situation is coming to normalize.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Axel, thank you very much for making time. That is the time that we had, but all the best for the 26th of November. If you are re-elected, please serve the people of Okanja with passion.
Yeah, so I definitely going to do so, and I think the people of Okanja, they can tell themselves for the past 5 years that I have been there, that we are up for the task. But I think it's better to share with the community that the first thing I would like to see next year is to have a tar road in Fairfront location. For the past 17 years that location has been there have been no tar road. I think it's the first that we need to look at to tar that location, and we can save the dignities of our communities.
Absolutely.
Missed the latest episode of Tourismus? Don't worry, Echo has you covered. Catch every travel adventure, insider industry news, and exciting destinations from Tourismus anytime, anywhere. Visit www.1up2.com and click on Echo to relive the journeys, rewind the adventures, replay the stories. Tourismus, where adventure meets prime time.
Yeah, so absolutely. In the exploration phase, which is the phase that we are right now, clearly you have international oil practices that are worldwide accepted. Shell abides to all of them. And when you arrive to a nation, what you do is that you look at the local legislation or the international oil practice, and you assume whatever is higher, all right? Because let's say, for example, a country like Namibia that is starting oil and gas, it has evolving environmental regulation, which is quite robust. But let's say, for example, that it doesn't meet the international, the companies will not go down. You know, they will maintain the standard. Now, if the national one, then you clarify, because clearly you have to comply. Now, here for Shell, but of course for all the companies that are doing activities here in Namibia, and this is a rule of thumb, the pecking order of priorities is first, safety.
Yes.
We do not jeopardize the safety. If, for example, there is a risk that somebody will be injured, and that involves stopping the operation with tremendous cost, we will stop operations. And everybody has the obligation to speak up, and we work really hard on speaking up. It takes priority, the safety of people over operations. Then the next pecking order is clearly the environment. So if there's a risk to have a contamination or something on the environment, we stop operations. And then the asset. That's basically the pecking order of priorities. So clearly and that's why it's so expensive, and that's why the standards are so high and the requirements are so high, and that's why we talked about in local content the phase approach, because safety and environment costs money.
Yes.
And you need to take extraordinary precautions to make sure that it's as safe and you're mitigating the risk correctly. So that involves upgrading local suppliers quite a bit from their normal standard. So in the exploration phase, which is uncertain because you do not know what's going to happen tomorrow, you just know what's going to happen in the next well, and based on that information, you go to the next one. It's highly unpredictable. Therefore, for example, when we're dealing with local suppliers, because of that unpredictability, it's very hard for them to invest according to the requirements. So it will be not prudent to push that kind of investment when you cannot guarantee the future. Now, when you go into a development that you have guarantee, let's say that, and all the Namibians have heard of the famous FID word, which is when any company makes a final investment decision, they're saying, okay, we're going to invest. And then you have 4 years where you're going to be producing the equipment that is going to produce the oil. And then you're going to have 25 years, 30 years, 35, 40 years of production. Then you have a sustainability. And then you can plan accordingly. Yeah. And that's why local content, we are promoting as much as possible, but it needs to be phased.
Yes.
And that's something that we have to really work together with the local suppliers to understand, building their capabilities and according to the different stages of the oil and gas cycle.
All right.
But a great part of it is safety and environment.
Yes.
Because those things, none of the companies, all of them are responsible companies, will jeopardize the safety and the environment of their operations.
Wow, incredible. What opportunities does Namibia offer for the future of energy, and how can Shell lead?
So Shell led because we did the first well. We had the courage to make that first well, which at the end the possibilities of success of finding oil, are 1 out of 10.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So that's a very high risk. So I think we already did that important part for Namibia. That and it's incredible. If you look at after that first well, in less than 4 years, 26 wells have been executed in Namibia.
Wow.
Which is quite remarkable. Again, you have put the right conditions.
Yes.
Contractually, operationally. So that's a good sign of Namibia. So on Shell's end, our contributions is this. We have complex geology, so it's bringing together our understanding of trying to understand the subsurface where the oil lies. All of our safety practices, our environmental practices, probably bringing new technologies to try to make our understanding of the subsurface, and then if we ever go to the next step, bringing all the development and production capabilities of Shell, which it's one of the core competencies of Shell is offshore. But at this stage that we're right now, as I mentioned before, there's a great contribution on trying to align the industry so that we're all pushing together in the same direction with the same objective.
I have to ask though, and I'm sure a lot of Namibians are wondering, how does Shell support or invest in local talent and skills development? You have highlighted on it.
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Been talking, but if you could just expand on that.
So there's several. Well, first of all, our office. We have 7 young, talented ladies, all ladies, Namibian. So to begin with our office, 2 of them are coming from Petrofund. So Petrofund is this great initiative that started 3 years, which is a fund to train Namibians to service the oil and gas industry. I think yesterday the numbers were like 400 students have benefit from Petrofund, which is wonderful. And if you haven't done so, I highly recommend you invite Nilian, the CEO of Petrofund, which is a fascinating person. He's been running Petrofund forever, and it's unique.
All right.
It's a unique institution that Namibia brings. So we support financially Petrofund on a yearly basis. The industry baseline study that we mentioned is to work with to try to understand what fields should Petrofund focus for the future of the industry.
Yes.
And we intend to make the IBS an evergreen study,
All right.
okay, so that we update it on a yearly basis. We work with NUST. We have an MOU with NUST to do basic oil and gas courses.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
And then I'm sure as time goes on, you keep adapting.
But I think the important thing here, I think the key message is the great work that the service companies are coming.
Yes.
So as similar as you have all the operators, the international oil operators that can run this type of operations, Namibia has also attracted the best of the best in terms of service, of international service companies.
Okay.
And they, at the end, they are the ones who do the heavy lifting.
Yes.
Most of the hiring is done by the rig companies, by the well construction companies, by the development companies, by all these are the ones who are going to be doing. And they have formed an association called COGANAM. And with NAMPOA and COGANAM, we have done an MOU to work in partnership to make sure that, yes, we have the contracts with the government, we are the operators, but these service companies are the ones who are executing the work. And most of the hiring is done by these companies. And they are also working together with Petrofund. They're hiring Namibians, and they're trying to every time push the number of Namibians working in the Namibian operations.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, some of the Namibians have already went to these companies, and they're doing trainings abroad,
Wow.
trying to get build on those capabilities. Yeah.
All right.